G'day mate, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included with me, JD, and welcome to the most insane episode ever. We have some really big building tasks to get done, and this is going to be interesting. So, first thing I need to do is I need to bring in a new duplicate. And you're both like, absolutely useless. So, we're going to bring in Niles. So, Niles is another acolyte who has kindly joined the fold. Niles is an interesting one. He's actually a real-life mate of mine. It's partially his fault this channel works. I spoke to him quite some time ago. However many years ago we've been doing, well, this channel. And spoke to him about starting a YouTube channel. And tried to get his thoughts and opinions, and he was one of the few that actually said, go for it, because striving out into the career of content creation is not exactly common. So, yeah, he's been a long-time supporter of myself. Not so much the channel, but definitely myself. So, we're going to welcome Niles into the fold. At the same time, skills. Emperor Nuke has finally leveled all the way up. And Alavan was already leveled all the way up and I forgot to release him. So, we're going to release both Alavan and Emperor Nuke out of the base. You guys now get full access to go do all the fun things. And hopefully not die. At least that's the hope. Whilst I actually see it, you need to go away. We have a few random pips wandering around the map that just need a quick talking to. Okay, so that's it. We got combat started. Okay. So, this episode, building tasks, and I probably admit a lot of this episode is probably going to be played in pause mode, just because we're going to add some significant build tasks. So, we have our old Oxalite refinery, which has been, or is about to be, fully decommissioned. It has been completely replaced and moved over and no longer needs to exist. Buildings, those can go away, that can go away. So that's done. I have moved a majority of the Oxalite over here. It's sitting on one of these tiles. Oxalite, 1.3 tons. So we have Oxalite over here. We have our old steam room. Our old steam room needs to pump steam from this side of the map to this side of the map. So before we go too much further, let's at least have the duplicates start doing that process. So they need to build a pipe, and it's going to hook in right here, because I have a bit of existing pipe, so I might as well use it. And we'll disconnect that, and we'll just do a deconstruct on a bit of old piping that we no longer need. Priority 9. Everything this episode that has to be constructed is going to be priority 9. So, we need to get steam to here. Steam is going to come into our steam loop. Our steam loop has the gas bridge, deconstruct those, and that. JD just did a boo-boo. I just need to fix really quickly. There we go. Okay, I need to put a bridge in going over that way. So this has priority. Anyway, so I need to bring steam into our steam loop. Our steam loop is going to go around. Now, the idea is we're going to fill the first steam rocket. If the first steam rocket is full or absent because it's been launched, then the gas can continue on and fill the second steam rocket. If it is either full or absent because it's launched, it can then come down here and come through this lovely radiant pipe. The radiant pipe is there to reheat the steam, bring the steam back up to the correct temperature, at which point it can then go back into the loop and continue passing along and heating back up a second time. We have a whole bunch of sensors down here. Let's go over the basics first. So we have our aqua tuner. Our aqua tuner is our source of heat. The way the aqua tuner makes heat is it finds something to cool down. We need to find something for it to cool down. We'll get back to that one. we have our liquid in. Our liquid in is running off two sensors. One is a hydro sensor, so if there is no liquid in the room, we can add more liquid. On top of that, we should actually have an atmo sensor, but I accidentally put down a thermo sensor. So the thermo sensor needs to be removed, replaced with an atmo sensor. On top of that, we have this thermo sensor, and the AND gate is set to the aqua tuner. So if the water is able to be cooled down, plus the whole room is less than 200 degrees, we're going to run the aqua tuner because we don't really want the room over 200 degrees. Finally, we have this thermo sensor, which is... I just need to disable everything for just the moment. Active if below 0. So this is going to be set to these guys, which is be like 130-ish. Same with this one. This gas pipe thermosensor detects the gas coming into the pipe and makes sure it's also warm enough to then pass on through. Okay, so that's that done. We need power. Our Oxalite refinery is set up off heavy watt wire because it's completely automated. A dupe will have to come in here occasionally and refill this this storage bin with iron and this storage bin with gold. That's pretty much it. Apart from that, dupes will never come into this room. Our power wire continues all the way up to run our auto sweeper. Our auto sweeper is going to receive Oxalite from this conveyor loader, which will get auto loaded in, and this conveyor loader bring in iron. The reason this one passes through doors and walls and all sorts of things is Oxalite will off-gas unless it's in a building or a wall or a door, at which point it won't off-gas. So the idea is we're going to bring it up here, and then I'm going to add a little pool of water. A little pool of water is here ready to go. We'll actually deconstruct that and set that up, and we're just going to dump some water in here so our Oxalite can't off-gas. Okay, so that's that part explained and solved. Next, we need some power up here. So, well, and we need something for the thermo aqua tuner to cool. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to run in power transformers out of, sure, gold will do. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put in 3 power transformers. I'm going to wrap them in. We're going to give them heavy watt conductive plate. Nope, I'm going to do a deconstruct. That and that. Conductive wire out of steel can go to there. We're going to go a heavy watt joint plate here. And then I'm going to bring in heavy conductive wire into those three and into that one and into that one. So that's that done. Now, on top of that, dupes are going to need access to get up here, and we'll start blocking off this little corner. Okay. Cool. You guys will get that done. We'll put in an atmo sensor, otherwise I'm going to forget. We'll make it a gold just in case. And you guys probably can't reach that one. No. Okay, so I need you to stop emptying, deconstruct. You to stop emptying, deconstruct. Okay, so drywall in the background as well. And before I forget as well, it's going to need an atmosphere, so we're going to give it a vent. Okay, so that's that sort of part set up. Now, on top of that, we've now got 3 circuits here that we can use. I need to use all 3 of them. The first one I actually need is to run bunker doors. I can run 16 bunker doors, which is about there, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. I can run 16 bunker doors off 1 circuit. So we're going to bring a circuit down here, and we're going to run it along into there. We're going to need a second circuit. This circuit is going to be running rocketry, a gantry, because I need some way for the dupes to get in and out. They just got to get in once, and then we're going to leave them in there permanently, but I need to have some way for them to get in, and gantries are going to be our answer. On top of that, I'm going to wall in the silo, so it's got to side wall so we don't have stray meteorites coming in and knocking things out. So, power, conductive wire bridge, rotate. There, and there. Okay. 301 build tasks already set up, ready to go. Okay, with me still so far? Okay, so add to that, we need automation. I need a couple of space scanners down here. These guys are gonna have the job of scanning our 2 rockets. They are gonna need automation wire. Again, made out of steel because this is all in space. We need to take this automation wire all the way along here and hook it into those 2 doors to run that one. This one needs to come all the way up here and hook into those 2 doors. Please tell me somebody disconnected that pipe. Oh, they did. Good. We're going to need to give dupes access to get up here to build that bit of wire. We need to give dupes access down there. We need to block that off. We need that tile to go away. Because Muppet's stuck inside currently. Good job, Muppet. Can't trust you with anything. Okay, so on top of all that, whilst we're automating things, we want to automation. I want only a screen signal. Oh, bugger. Rocketry. Gantry. Nope, that was in the right tile. Did I just build? No, the gantry's in the right spot. Okay. Automation. I want to run only lets a green. Okay, so I need to have a filter gate. And the idea is when the space scanners detect the rockets coming back, they're going to send a green signal. Green signal is going to open the doors, but I don't want the gantries to pop out straight away. I want to put in a filter gate. So a filter gate only lets a green signal through if the input has received a green signal for longer than specified time. So I'm going to get like 10, 15, 20 seconds. I don't know, some number. And then let the gantry open. Now the gantries open on so that'll be green up there. So we're going to flip that to a red signal because they open on a red, I believe. At least this is the way I remember doing it last time. So we need to set up that as well. That's going to be our automation for these guys. So this is all done now. We can ignore that, leave the dupes to go fix that problem up. Next problem, insulated pipes. So we have our aquatuner. Our aquatuner down here is going to make some heat. To make some heat, we need to give it something to cool. So we're going to come up to here. We're going to swap over to radiant pipe out of aluminium because we can. We're going to cool our 3, what do we call it? Thingamajiggy bobs. Transformers. We're going to bring the pipe back down and then out this tile, which I'm going to put an insulated tile there. We're going to go into this overlay. I'm going to disconnect you and run some sedimentary rock up there because that needs to be hooked into its own water supply. Okay, so we've got a pipe out the bottom. We need to find something to cool. If we go look at map view, we can see generally the base, we're on RIME, don't forget, so we're on a freezing cold asteroid. Generally, the base doesn't have anything we need to cool. Like, it's a little bit warm. I'm no denying that. But, like, this is a cool steam vent. That's at 48 degrees Celsius because we've double insulated it. This is another cool steam vent at 78 degrees. This is a, what's that? A copper volcano? Gold volcano. We've double insulated. It's not exactly warm. In fact, I missed insulation on one side, so we'll just add that in real quick. It's not really terribly warm. Like, this is our oil storage at 50 degrees. A little bit toasty. This is our steam room. Very, very toasty, but it's insulated. It's designed that way. That's our salt water storage, 90 degrees. Double insulated. Oh, well, actually, that's single insulated. We'll just wrap it really quickly in another row of insulation, which we will set to maybe Nah, let's just leave it at 9. This episode is going to have so many construction tasks, it's not funny. So, I don't really have... Actually, look, here's our worst case scenario. This is an iron volcano. This thing spits out iron at 2,500 degrees Celsius. It's not hot. Right? Like, the only thing we have worse is our volcano, which is spewing out magma, but it's in a vacuum, so it doesn't move heat. This is sort of the only spot it moves heat, and again, I could double insulate things. I probably should, and we probably will. Like, this has just got up and running in the last couple of episodes. We're not going to double insulate it until we know it's maintenance free. That's pretty much where that's up to. So, like, yeah, I need something that I can actively cool. On top of that, our self-powered oxygen maker. So, oxygen overlay. So, we can tell by this big hydrogen loop that this is where the self-powered oxygen maker is. We have 3 oxygen lines coming out of here. This is oxygenating the base Atmos suits. It needs to oxygenate the duplicates in training because they're one of the few places where we're a little bit oxygen poor. Niles, you didn't go get your hat. I gave you a hat and everything. You're useless. At least you got your Stasi suit, okay? Like, you're halfway there. Okay, so we need to oxygenate these guys. We've got 1 oxygen pipe coming out here, and it's sort of doing the bottom of the map. I'd really like to retire that oxygen pipe. Then we've got another one coming over here and doing this side of the map, the actual original base. I'd like to retire that one as well. I'd really like it to really oxygenate maybe the middle bottom of the base, maybe above it, maybe just itself. I don't know. We have this self-powered oxygen maker. This one's doing these Atmos suits. It's also doing like this part of the base, and then it's doing like here and here. Here and here are both very much exposed to space, so it's fighting a losing battle, which is fine. I actually have no problem with that. That's perfectly as it's been engineered. Our third oxygen pipe is going all the way across the map to run these Atmos suits along with our Oxalite machine and our telescope. That's the word I'm looking for. So, I'd like to have another oxygen machine sort of doing this side. At the same time, we do have a lot of dupes coming down here and trying to run these oil wells and scalding themselves for it. So, I need to put Atmos suits down here because this is one of those areas where it's 80 degrees and it's going to be 80 degrees forever. There we go, telescope. Analyze. So, this is going to be 80 degrees forever, and I'm going to have 6 of them down here, and they're going to be need to be emptied fairly regularly. In fact, I'm probably going to have a dupe dedicated to just emptying these non-stop. So, I need to put some Atmos suits down here. So, I figured, you know what we're going to do? We're going to come here, we're going to go copy, we're going to select all of that. We're going to scroll across to here, and plop that whole build right there. So, this is going to need me to just fix any little boo-boos that happened in the copy and paste. We need power lines. That power line needs to go. We need to cancel that, cancel that, cancel that, and cancel that so tubes can get access. We need to put mesh tiles through here. Power, we want joint plate in there, and then we want deconstruct, buildings, Protein 9, all those ladders, because they're sort of in the way. So, we need a self-powered oxygen maker. Done. We've pasted one of those in, that'll get built. Now, it now means we have a pipe that we can bring down here, and we can cool something with. Good news, we're going to have a whole bunch of oxygen we get to cool. So, we're going to cool that oxygen all the way down. After we've done that, we can then take our pipe of still pretty, like, really I want to warm the water up as much as possible. And the only other thing I can think to cool off is our petroleum generators. The main reason I'm going to cool these guys down is they put out polluted water. Now, if the machine is hotter than 40 degrees, the polluted water comes out at hotter than 40 degrees. If the machine itself is 40 degrees or lower, we're going to get out polluted water that's at 40 degrees. Now, that basically gives me liquid I can use for maybe some other type of cooling. Anything that's over 40 degrees, which is, you know, not a lot as we covered, but I'd prefer to have cool water rather than hot water running around the base. So we're going to come up here and we're going to cool this. Now, this comes with its own special type of spaghetti. So we've already got a cooling, I wouldn't call it a loop. We have the polluted water that's coming out of here, it's getting dumped on the ground, and it's being recycled by this liquid pump up, around, and back, and it is providing some sort of pseudo cooling. Funnily enough, these guys output carbon dioxide at 110 degrees. These guys output carbon dioxide at 93 degrees. But if we look at the whole room, it is 60 degrees. And I have got it exposed to space just in the top corner. And it's still not really dumping the carbon dioxide fast enough. As you can see, it's like 40 kilograms per tile in here. So the dupes are currently locked out of here. I don't want them in here because that's a lot of CO2. I have, as you can see, put in an airlock door. I've basically vented this door out to space. So hopefully most of the CO2 goes out to space because we are going to have dupes. Dupes are originally allowed to come in here and tune up these petroleum generators for more power. I don't really need more power, to be honest. Deconstruct, probably 9, that, and that at the same time. So, yeah, we don't really need more power, but, like, I don't mind if the dupes come do it. It's probably the point I'm trying to get at. So, yeah, I'm going to actively cool this thing. So, we're going to bring our... How much ceramic do we have? Not much. Like, that's it. Okay, so we're going to go across to sedimentary rock. We're going to bring that up here. And then we're going to try and work out a cooling loop. Now, the cooling loop, I'm going to use aluminium purely because I can. And we're going to work our way backwards. Alright, so, one more. We want you to go in. And to build that tile up there, I need a ladder. Okay, so we're going to have coolant come up to here. Now, before it goes in here and starts cooling this, I actually want it to come this way, just slightly. And go back over to radiant pipe and just cool these couple of transformers. Then we're going to bring it into that pipe and that pipe. And then we're going to reverse this bridge, have it loop all the way through here, down, back to where it started. Okay, so that's the idea for that one. All right, still with me? So we have self-powered oxygen maker. We have cooling loop. We have, I need to put a high pressure gas vent there and another one there, and there. I'm just remembering things as I go. That. Cancel that. Okay. So, that's everything we need to prime and start that system. That's our cooling loop. Now, of course, this is going to need water. It needs water to make oxygen. That's how the electrolyzers work. Our water tank down here has a pipe, this pipe coming out. It's pumping into here. It's coming up to here. It's going to these 4 electrolyzers. It's coming up here and going to these 4 electrolyzers. And it has this extra pipe that's going all the way up here, which we're about to dump to the cooling loop. So, let's just deconstruct that. That way we can ignore the whole top end. But electrolyzers use 1 kilogram per second of water. Our pipe and our pump only does 10 kilos. We're using 4. We're using another 4. We're using 8, which means technically I'd have to come off this pump to run the new electrolyzer. Instead, what we're actually going to do is we're going to come off that pump, and then we're just going to split those. And then I'm going to take this pump, I'm going to run this right the way across the whole damn map. Up to there. And then I know I need to put in a bridge for a future project, which we're going to get to in 1 second. And bring that up to there. Then we're going to put in a bridge that way, a bridge that way, And join those two together. Okay. Liquid bridge. Deconstruct. Bridge. So that's that pipe going up. Right. Okay. So, that's that project done. Next project. This is going to have out of... Let's go to our ventilation overlay. Let's look at this one. This is the one we blueprinted. This pipe here is our excess hydrogen. So this is the hydrogen that we don't burn off to power this machine because it is self-powered. It produces a little bit of extra hydrogen, which I need to route all the way down and join into this hydrogen line and into our main hydrogen tank, which is at... No, hydrogen. 2.5 tons per tile. So we've got a fair bit of spare hydrogen. Which means I now need to insulate a gas pipe out of sedimentary rock. I need to run this gas pipe. You know what? I can run straight through that, all the way over here to join into that. Which now means those tiles can get dug out so Jupes can get through. These two little bits of wall can go as well. Cancel deconstruct. And that should just get it replaced with an insulated pipe. Okay, so excess hydrogen goes that way. Okay, another job done. None of this is built yet. It's just all planned out. Okay. Third job. Plastic. We're a little bit short on plastic, and we're about to use a whole bunch more. Mainly because Dupe's doing a lot of running back and forth, and I want to give them more plastic tiles to run on because it makes them run faster. So, if we come... Oh, actually, no. One of these, actually, you're going to go up. You're going to join in there. Which one? One of these two. One of these two is going to come all the way down the whole length of the map. Now, this is insulated pipe, okay? So, insulated pipe, which uses 400 kilograms per tile. And we just laid out 200 tiles worth. So that's 8 tons of material we're asking the dupes to come and lay down. And it's going to run in there. Probably not that long, actually. And down here, we're going to put stations. We're going to put a atmosuit dock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, maybe 4. 4 seems like a reasonable number. And atmosuit checkpoint. And then power. We're just going to steal power from here. It might overload it, but that's fine. We'll work that out later. And then plastic tiles. Like I said, we're about to use a whole bunch of plastic because we're going to put plastic all the way along there. And then all the way down there. And we're going to tell the dupes to disconnect those ladders and those ladders. And those ladders. So dupes can either come down here and path down this way, or they can run across the plastic, run down the plastic ladder, and get into these things. So that's yet another project we want done, which is going to require some ladders put in there, along with digging out some of that ice that we've been waiting forever to melt. So that's another project done. But as you can see, it's pretty much decimated our plastic reserves. Our plastic reserves are not running because, if you remember, we had an oil refinery in here that was producing petroleum, which we were pumping out here, down here, around here, into our petroleum tank, which got moved up here. So we need to move our petroleum tank. Well, we need to get petroleum from here back to our polymer presses, which are buried inside our industrial brick, because that way any heat they output, it gets turned into steam, which gets turned into power, along with the steam they output also gets turned into power. So we now need to put in another pipe, another pipe, disconnect those, to bring our very, very hot petroleum right the way across the base into our polymer presses. So, working backward, we have a oil refinery. Don't need any pipes attached to it anymore. It's been fully replaced by the petroleum boiler. So all that can go away. The oil refinery itself can go away. Go back to plumbing overlay. This bit of plumbing can go away. Sedimentary rock. I have no idea how many tons we started with, but it's getting lower. That bridge is definitely going the wrong way now. We want to bring this up. That bridge is also going the wrong way, so it's got to go as well. And then I'm thinking we're going to run it right across the floor. Right here. I took some time before the episode to do some plumbing planning. So we now have 4 pipes in a row. Oh, that failed. Yeah. Which is going to go insulated that way. The rest of this pipe, which I'm going to intentionally disconnect first, goes all the way up the map and goes to our petroleum tank. We were running the electrolyzer in, the temperizer in to heat up, so we could run the aqueous unit in to cool down, to move the heat over here to make steam, which is also being retired, if you remember, because we're pumping the steam over here slowly to run this. So, all of these pipes need to get upgraded. The deconstruction tasks can wait. They're not super urgent. As long as I disconnect them, the dupes can get to them when they get to them. But that's going to improve that. On top of that, I have that pipe there that's bringing in crude oil, which we're going to just link in here, and it should self-flush after this has been deconstructed. Okay, so, you still with me? Still with all the tasks that have to be done? Plumbing, we want you're a down pipe. You're also a down pipe that I need. Can I do... No, it doesn't allow it. Damn. Priority, now. Just now that, please. That way I can put in the thing and forget about it. Oh, the long list of tasks continues. So, the other thing I have is I have really, 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 really hot petroleum. I'd like it to be slightly less hot. Now, in a perfect system with a perfectly equalized petroleum boiler, everything would be fine. Although, it already looks like my petroleum's too hot. No. Crude oil. So, I'm actually using enough magma to heat this up by like 100 degrees. If I had a better or a longer heat exchanger, I'd actually be moving less temperature, I guess that's probably the best way of putting it, and have cooler petroleum coming out and hotter oil going in, giving me a more efficient system. I haven't got that, and I might send a dupe in here. Actually, let's just... gold. Let's just replace one pipe segment. Because it's really the point I'm at. I'm like, I can tease it up and down by a little bit. But it takes a long... Why are you being heated? No power. There we go. Like, you shouldn't get hot. You don't have any power. I intentionally laid the cables that way. Shish. Okay. So, where were we? I want to cool down the petroleum tank. Now, the best way to do that is throw cooling at it. As you saw, I just laid in a really long pipe for cooling. Problem is, if I equalize this, the cooling would be lesser and therefore might not work. So, I have an anti-entropy thermo nullifier right here. This, you add hydrogen in and magic happens and things, well, it gets cold and its surrounding atmosphere gets cold. So, I want to bring some hydrogen over here. We happen to have an excess hydrogen pipe that I'm bringing up here to already run this thermo nullifier, which is basically doing the in-floor cooling for the base, which is slowly cooling the base back down. Long story short, it somehow got too much water in it and blocked. And as you can see now, there's a couple of sections where there's missing liquid. It's actually doesn't have enough liquid in it now. It's not full, but it's a getting disconnect that. It's gonna get there slowly. That's almost reconnected. Good. So yeah, it's getting there slowly. Every couple of cycles, it brings down the temperature by about a degree. So it should cool. It has a little bit of smarts on it, so it stops running when it gets down to like 20 degrees. It'll stop running eventually after it gets down to 20 degrees. I just looked at how much gas in there. It's probably going to take, yeah, whatever. It should work fine. So what I actually want to do is I want to set up the same sort of thing over here, except not nearly as involved, not nearly as smart. And the closest spot I have hydrogen is this. This is an excess pipe, so there's not a lot of hydrogen in it, but that's good because I don't need a lot of hydrogen. We will split that first. Yep. So I want to put in a gas bridge. This prioritizes flow. I'm then going to run insulated pipe because this hydrogen is potentially hot, 64 degrees. It is cooling down in the pipe because, well, the pipe's not a perfect insulator, and it's really not moving fast. But yeah, I'd like to insulate it as much as possible. I'd like to use ceramic. I don't have any, so we're just going to use sedimentary rock. We're going to bring this right the way across, down into here, up to 1, 2, 3, 4, a gas vent. And before it goes to a gas vent, we're going to use the priority system to jump it over there and run into this. And I'm literally just going to have this run. I don't care, honestly, how much it overruns. It can't get the liquid too cold as far as I'm concerned. I'm also going to have to fill it with a coolant, which is good because this pipe of petroleum right here is going to be our plumbing, liquid bridge, plumbing, disconnect those two. So that's going to be our, we're going to use the petroleum as our coolant, which goes down to, no, come back here. Minus 57 degrees. I doubt we're going to get the petroleum down to minus 57 degrees. It might happen, but I doubt it. That can go, that can go. So, I think that's all the tasks. No. We want to mafic rock. This does need to be doubly insulated. That hadn't happened yet. And we need a ladder so the dupes can get over here and build the side of it. So, that's all the building tasks we have for this episode. Now, luckily enough, I have 50-ish able dupes. So, although that seems like a lot, and don't get me wrong, it is. It's honestly not going to take them that long. I really want to have this episode wound up in a nice, tidy, neat bow before cycle 999. And I honestly think with all the tasks I've thrown at them, which are normally things that, like, on a normal base, would be like 1 hour per build, probably 15 cycles. I honestly think they're going to get this done in probably 10. All of it. Whereas each normal build would be like 15 cycles. Don't get me wrong, they're going to make a mess. They are absolutely going to make a mess of things. We're going to have hydrogen bleed out of this system. We're going to end up with a cloud of hydrogen up here. We're going to end up with probably some scaldy dupes from trying to release the pressure on this machine because the back pressure's already got too high, and that means in theory a dupe's been asked. Although I have set the priority really, really low, hoping that they don't come anywhere near it, because I'm sick of the scaldy dupes. At least for that one. I don't mind if it's scaldy dupes because I messed something up, but yeah, this regularly is just, it's getting to me. So, yeah, I'm going to put in a cut. We're going to leave the dupes to have at it. And, well, you can see this pipe's going in already. That pipe's going in already. This hasn't started. They'll start closest to base and move their way out. Oh, there was a bridge right there. I missed. Starvation. You just forgot to eat? Yeah, you just forgot to eat. It's fine. Go have a snack. Yeah, like I said, they're going to make a little bit of a mess with digging out some of this scrap and we're just going to let that pool everywhere. We'll fix it up later. It's a later JD problem. Not building gas vents, so the duplicates in training could breathe. That'd be nice. Idle. Yeah, you got your head stuck. Do the trick again, Kendrith. There we go. You can reach that. And you can reach that. Scolding. Emperor Nuke. Yeah, I knew it. I knew one of you would try to come down here and get this done. Like, he's a brand new dupe. So yeah, I'm going to put in the cut of the century, and we're going to come back in, I don't know, place your bets. Place your bets down in the comment section on how long it takes and how many dupes get lost in the process. I'm really hoping the answer is 0, but, you know, dupes are super smart, and they come and try and catch their breath in 80-degree liquid all the time. Emperor Nuke, you get a hat. Well, you have a hat, so it means you have privileges to go sit in a medical bed. Anyway, I'm going to put a cut here. Is there any good way to zoom? Maybe we'll do that one. Well, we'll do that one. No, we'll do... because there's pipe and everything going in here. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll be back. Well, unfortunately, that's where we're going to leave this episode. It took about 40 minutes for us to place down all our blueprints, and then it took probably another 40 minutes for the dupes to actually get it built. I think it was about 8 cycles, so I'm actually slightly impressed about how quickly things get done if you throw enough dupes at the problem. But as you can see, like, we're down to priority 5 stuff, so like this pipe that was going along here is being deconstructed. Actually, I take that back. Unreachable build. Okay. Obviously, there's a small problem with the duplicate pathfinding. Where the hell's a dupe? You're in bed. Dupe McDupe face. Dupey McDupe face. Can't get down. Okay. So, we still need to lay out this bit of pipe. Once that's done, then it means... Oh, and I figured I'd actually do this build on episode because there is a whole bunch of carbon dioxide that's going to explode out of this room. I figured you guys would probably like to watch that. We have started... you're out of water. You only filled half the loop. Okay, so there's a few small problems that I need to look at, like trying to get this to yep. We'll just add that back in there. Yeah, there's a few minor complications with how things ran and didn't quite get finished. But yeah, I think next episode we're going to go through and we're going to turn these systems on one at a time. So we've got the cooling for the petroleum. We have the electrolyzer build. I have already turned that on just because it takes a while to prime. And I figured, you know, you saw it once, you saw it twice. You didn't need to see it a third time. It's actually just waiting to be sealed back up, which it turns out Crisis and Mega Slothrian are right on the case, just sealing that back up really, really quickly. We still have this to build, along with, it turns out, this bit of pipe in here. I must have deconstructed. Oh no, that's all built above the ladder. That's why they could get that part done, but not that part. Okay, so that's still going to be done. That is going to lead to some toasty dupe situations because it gets quite warm over here. In fact, it gets exceedingly warm over here. So yeah, there's that. This is all plumbed in, but I've actually disabled this oil well, so we're going to have to turn that back on after the atmosuits actually get resupplied. What else? Oh, and we can turn on our cooling loop, turn on our steam loop, and launch these rockets. So they'll all happen in the next episode. I'm going to leave it there. We got a lot done, like an insane amount of done in less than 10 cycles. A lot less than 10 cycles. And actually, one last thing I want to check. Hey, they finally planted one more arbitrary. They just flat out refused to play it here. So yeah. So next episode, we're going to power everything up, and then that's going to be 10 cycles or less, because dead set, I want to do something special for cycle 1000. Really special. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next episode for idle dupes, and never a good thing. Super ducks. Is that better, super ducks? Why are the doors opening? Because you're set to the wrong things. That'll fix them. Okay. I'll see you guys in the next episode where we deal with rockets, deal with powering up systems, and yeah. Anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next episode number 39. All right, bye.